Hello guys, I will be presenting this week 12. We are learning from an article by Melancon and Harris that was written in 2015, entitled Preparing Students for Online Writing Instruction. So they start first by telling us that students who take online classes have a misconception that learning online is easy and it's time consuming. And they cleared this misconception by saying it is not like that, it is not true. Online learning has a lot of work and it needs students to be committed because they will be engaged in a lot of collaborative activities, posting and writing on discussion boards, having small group discussions, having writing tasks, watching videos that are posted on the learning management system, interacting with their peers and also with their tutor. So as the online writing course starts, students must be taught how to navigate the online management system or learning management system. They must be taught how to upload their to use Google Docs, to access things on Google Docs, to be able to upload their assignments, to download things or resources or papers that have been posted. So they must be taught also how to participate and engage with one another and the instructor. Melancon and Harris first of all start by grounding us on the 3 principles about online writing instruction. Principle number 10, that students should be prepared by the institution and by their teachers for online writing courses. Principle number 11, online writing teachers and institutions should develop personalized and interpersonal online communities so that students can be successful. And then principle number 13, which says that students should be provided support for components to support components such as online orientations, technological orientation, so that they can know what to do. So students need to be taught. And then these principles, they start by going further on what students should do, or how tutors or professors should also do to help these students. First, students must have motivation to learn. They must be self-disciplined to know when to do what, to write, to read, to do whatever that they have to do on the learning management system and access the course. They must communicate with each other and with the tutor. They must be committed. And it is upon the tutors to help students with this in-depth overview of the management, of the learning management system. And students with disabilities would require extra instruction. So they must be also taken through step by step what they should do when they are online learners. The institution should provide orientation for the students. It is not like face-to-face where we use just chalk and pens and chalk and paper. Online needs or relies heavily on the internet. There must be reliable internet. There must be a functional learning management system. There must be an IT professional, a technician that will have a help desk where students can call in or send email for help. And then they must also have a working computer or laptop. Generally, students need orientation opportunities that will take them through or teach them step by step how to navigate the online class. Technology orientation, and the key thing is the online orientation, so that they can be taught how to upload their assignments, how to find activities, and the general requirements of the class. And firstly, also the teacher, when they first start their online class, they must ask students how best they learn. Do they learn well through listening or through watching? And then the students should give the information to the teacher or to the tutor, and it is done through a student self-assessment survey. I have put the link here that I also got online that is very good. I thought I will share it with you. Furthermore, students must commit their time to learning because they read, they write, they view, and they participate in the different activities like I've mentioned before, discussion boards and peer review. The next thing is that the institution must provide more support to the students in order for them to be successful. Students need technology support, like I've just mentioned, the IT guy. There must be an information technology or computer guy who helps the students to navigate. And research has found that there are certain communities of students that are not very familiar with technology, especially Black students. And those students who need more support. Students with disabilities, sometimes they just choose not to tell that they have disabilities, and those disabilities would be learning challenges, it would be multilingualism, it could be socio-economic backgrounds. So sometimes they just keep quiet, and as a professor or as a tutor, you will not know that your students are having those challenges. So the authors further inform us that the universities have got the chance to collect data of all the students that are in the university and those that are doing online learning in order for them to analyze this information about their students so that they can come up with programs or writing programs that can benefit the students and even improve the online writing programs. And the challenge that the authors have identified so far is that there should be a limit of the number of students that an online tutor should have, and these tutors must be provided with support so that they can, especially funding financially, there must be financial support so that they can be able to teach, because they will have resources if they are funded. At instructor level, instructors should ensure that they pay attention to the accessibility and the disability of their students in online writing classes. And teachers should not be considered as the information technology experts. They are not, so they should be helped by the institution to be competent online tutors. And if they are taught and they are prepared, they will incorporate universal designs into their course structure. They will also be able to select appropriate delivery tools, and that will help them to build capacity within the writing programs. And tutors can also do the same and do research of profiles and demographics of their students so that they can help their students and they can plan courses and develop and design and look at the resources and the pedagogical approaches that they can use that could be appealing to their students. And instructors who are teaching online must also ensure that they have or share with their students their expectations. And these expectations may include the consistent communication through online channels, and they should be multiple. There should also be multiple channels for redundancy. They should also be at the beginning of the course, not start their course at a very high pace. They should ensure that they slow it down so that they teach their students slowly at the beginning so that they can understand later on. Then they can ensure that they move at a fast pace. They should also help building a community of online communities, and the authors have identified a number of ways that could be used to build this online community. Number one is creating icebreakers that allow students to be comfortable, incorporate the blogging feature in their courses, and provide students with an area where they can answer each other's questions. And the instructor presence is really also recommended as a way of building community. The instructor should demonstrate personal desire to learn or to want to know and interact with students. And instructors should also model what online instruction should look like. Students must be prepared, like I have said, they should be prepared for online experience and academic writing, because most of the time students are not aware that online courses are very demanding. So instructors are encouraged to come up with trial runs that will include sending out announcements on timely basis and on certain periods of the week that they know that every week on this particular day I send out announcements asking students to post their introductions on the learning management system so that they know one another, and exercises and expectations that introduce the students to the online environment. And in conclusion, there is no size that is fitting all for online learning. There are practices that have been identified, and the author have identified 5 of them. Reaching out to students before the online class begins to just understand what they know and what they don't know. Providing students with technological assistance and the orientation is important. And offering students a detailed overview of how the online course would look like, and creating and adhering to accessibility guidelines. So that is the end of the presentation. I have a class exercise which I'm requesting you guys to look at the questions and write 2 or 3 paragraphs about what you got out of the reading, and then you post it on your discussion board, and 2 other people will respond to your 2 paragraphs, and then you also respond to their writing, and then ensure that is for the Tuesday class. And then for the Thursday class, I am going to provide you with a Google link that we will have to also write answers for by providing or creating an online student self-assessment video, questions that you may want to know about your students as you start your online class. So that is what we will do on Thursday. Tuesday, you answer the questions and you post the answers on your UNM Learn discussion board. And Thursday, we'll be looking at self-assessment survey or questionnaire that you would ask your students at the beginning of the online class. Thank you very, very much for listening to my presentations. If there are any questions, I hope you will post them on the discussion board, or you will send them to my email, and then we will continue with the discussion. Thank you very much and have a lovely, lovely day. Bye.